The Disney movie did that one right in terms of like an interspecies possible relationship because...
Is there a right way?
Hold on.
Donkey!
Let me
The line that just got drawn.
Let me explain it. So, welcome to the Freeform Podcast. This is Dallas. Tonight with us we have Zach, Gabby, Tim, and Cameron is joining us.
There it is. Intro.
As always. It's been a little bit of a hiatus, so we are back. I don't know where this will go in the posting lineup because it's been kind of chaotic with the way I post. So apologies there if you're wanting to stay up to date as possible. Right. But yeah, I think pretty soon we'll get back into a good rhythm. I finally started posting, which is cool. So this is the first recording posting.
Yeah, that's
yeah, which is kind of crazy because we recorded for how many months before I started posting? It's like almost 7. I think 6 or 7. Yeah. It was a long ass time.
So if you're looking for this episode in the timeline that is totally linear.
You know, the funny thing is, on a lot of what we talk about, you would never know.
No, you wouldn't.
You would never know. I was able to cut out a lot of things, but I even say it in the episode posting sometimes, like especially the 2 latest ones. Mm-hmm. I even say, this was from, earlier in the year or something like that. But
I just see a lot of parallels between our posting and the Kingdom Hearts timeline. Where you don't know. You have no idea.
You're like, where are they at?
You can't even tell.
Yeah.
So just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Disney.
Is it because I'm confused or because I'm a genius? I'll let you decide. But wherever you fall on the Kingdom Hearts side, that's probably the same as what's going on over here. So, yeah. Watch Donkey's video on that. He explains it really well.
Oh, it's great.
Hopefully I don't get that convoluted, but no, we're and I think as time goes on, it'll only get more linear, obviously, because I'm getting on a good posting schedule now. I have it on, I post the podcast, just the regular podcast on Mondays, every Monday for the last, 6-7 weeks now. Yeah, because I posted 2 on the first week. So 7 weeks in a row. And now for YouTube, I post 2 days later just because it gives me a bit of a break in terms of editing and stuff. And then I can actually, take some time to, like, if I really like the title, then I'll make, the thumbnail that matches, the title and stuff like that. Cause I don't want to make a thumbnail for a title that I don't like, and then it's like doesn't match, and then I got to go in there and change it all. So, yeah,
right. So Dallas is neurotic. That's cool.
Well, I think as with anything that you put time and effort into, you want it to like.
No, I know you call it perfectionism. It's okay.
I just call it putting time and effort into it. Really, that's all it is. Yeah. Anything you like, How much time do you put into your D&D stuff, Tim?
More and more.
Well, see, there you go.
Yeah. Some
people call it a passion. Some people call it neuroticism.
Yeah.
Great retort, Tim. You're on fire tonight. Well done.
I see no point in arguing with that since I am equal.
No, there's no argument. I just wanted to hear. Yeah. Everyone seems very low energy tonight. Has everyone gotten their sleep?
Well, I did not take my midday nap today. That's okay.
Wow. Are you going to be able to get those now with your new job?
No, but I'll be able to.
He says that with a quiver. No.
Well, it's kind of a weird schedule because I'll be starting, I think, at like 3 p.m. or no, sorry. It's 11 a.m. and then I'm off at like 7 or something like that. So I'll get to sleep in as much as I want and stay up late. Which is awesome for me.
Yeah, that sounds good for your schedule. Mm-hmm. Awesome, dude.
But no midday nap. That's the sad part.
Maybe you can sneak into like a supply closet or something and
Yeah, we'll see.
They might frown on that.
Well, it's not like we're getting the ER. It's not going to be like super, emergency stuff. Yeah. So maybe he could.
I haven't gotten the full tour of the place yet, so I'll have to keep an eye out for a nap area.
Do you want to explain what you're doing?
Sure.
Or just what your job is?
He's like,
so
no.
They handed me a pamphlet and they were like, "This is your job description." I was like, "Oh, that's probably good to know because I have no idea."
Wait, it was on a pamphlet?
It was on it was like three pieces of paper.
Oh, gotcha. I was imagining like they handed you like a how to quit smoking. Here's your here's your job description. You're like, oh, cool.
No, it wasn't that casual, but
okay.
Handed you a card with diagrams on it.
Yeah.
Can you do this? But yeah, so I got this medical assistant job. It's it should be a lot of what I was already doing. Like we're doing orthoglass, we do some wound care. I get to get trained on how to give injections, so that's cool. But I don't really know what the job is yet, so I can't really talk about it.
Right.
I'm just really excited to get it and get out of painting.
Nice.
So glad.
Well, I'm looking forward to you coming in, whenever and having more stories.
I'm gonna have
especially
some
fresh
great
ones.
stories.
Oh yeah.
I
was gonna say, I was gonna say, maybe you don't know because I don't know how much you guys have again followed or listened to the posts, but the episode that I posted on YouTube about your ER stories has the most views of any of our stuff. It has 72
great.
views, which I know that's not a lot for like people who go viral or anything, but for people just starting out, no. I mean, most of our stuff has, I think everything has double digits now, but 72 is far and above. Like the next thing below that on YouTube is like in the 20s.
Okay.
So
everybody loves a car crash.
People loved that one. Favorite. Yeah, no, it was a good one, man.
I'll definitely bring some more stories because I'm sure some crazy stuff will happen.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
So, but generally you're like a medical assistant. Could you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the job
That's
title.
the title.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Yeah. Dude, giving shots. That's no joke.
Yeah. We'll kind of see what they are. I imagine a Toradol shot for people with headaches. That'll be pretty constant, pretty regular. Do you have to give any like in the butt shots? Is that common? Probably.
Really?
Well, because the only reason people get shots in the butt as opposed to the shoulder, is just muscle mass.
Really?
Yeah. You're giving, you're injecting fluid into the body. You want it to have as much area and as much like blood flow to get circulated into the system, and also. If you stick somebody in a small muscle group, it's going to hurt, and you're injecting, you're going to cause more trauma to that area. Whereas a larger muscle group, it has a lot more area to disperse, and, your body is also going to work that muscle and just kind of help with the whole recovery. That's really the only difference between a shot in the thigh and the shoulder.
I had no clue. I literally thought that just certain shots you had to get in the butt for some reason.
Well,
I don't literally that was my medical knowledge. I did not know that. That's very interesting. But it makes a lot of sense, which I'm sure Gabby could attest to, because tattoos, when they're on smaller sections, I mean, I know you have tattoos too, but on smaller parts of your body are going to be more painful because it's like more concentrated and all that. Whereas a big old mass, like a upper arm or like leg tends to hurt less. At least that's what I've been told. Because
I only have
I'm
one
still
tattoo,
a wimp who's never gotten a tattoo. In fact, I was going to say, actually, it reminded me because I had to listen to our early posts, and I talked about getting a tattoo. And in there, I was like, I think I'm going to get one by the end of the summer. And then Gabby laughs, and she's like, you have to book like months in ahead. And then, so in that podcast, I was like, well, okay, maybe by like October. And now it's November. So, yeah.
It's gone well.
Yeah. I just recently booked. I'm in for February. So.
Jeez, yeah. Well, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe, We'll see. I have other things that I should probably put money towards than tattoos as well. So comes down to that kind of stuff too, for me anyway. So, but cool, man. Yeah, I definitely look forward to new ER stories. Everyone's always curious about those, so it'll be good. Tim, how's planning your D&D empire over there? your transatlantic empire.
Well, I don't know about that.
Or should I say empire?
I'm more like I'm more in the range of a mercenary.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Well, that's more attractive. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Dallas is attracted to mercenaries.
Noted.
Yes.
Noted.
Yes.
And filed away.
So if you are a mercenary, please don't contact me.
If your name is Dog.
Now, Dog is the hottest mercenary. Everyone knows that. Have you seen pictures of that guy?
Anyway.
He looks like a sunstroke victim 50 years after.
Oh, wow.
He does. He looks like
fighting
leather, and he smokes all the time. Yeah, he like
that.
Yeah. Anyone who's seen him,
remember when the show was going.
Yeah,
on.
yeah. I mean, I haven't seen him lately. I'm talking from 15 years ago when I, whatever. Yeah, the poor guy. He just looked like he lived a hard life
back when he was the only mullet running around.
Yeah. Now, dude, that's the crazy thing. Mullets have become popular again. I was talking to my barber, who I'm going to go see tomorrow, because I finally need to get all this cut off, because I no longer need to have it for my costume for Halloween. But I was pointing to my long hair for those of you who couldn't see.
Which is everybody.
Yeah. I'm not cutting my beard. I am leaving the beard. The beard is quite long.
Starting to look good.
It's quite long. Thank you. It's only
It's
only been growing it out since May. And Tim's like, oh, it's starting to look okay. It's starting to resemble a man, now.
You're close.
I'm close. I'm getting there. It's honestly, shout out to my boy Robbie. He's my barber. He's awesome. Like, he's giving me tips and stuff, and oil, and all the shit that goes along with beards.
You need the beard oil.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't realize how dry the beard gets. I mean, especially obviously the longer it gets. And now I have to put it in every day. Mm-hmm. I have to put it in every day, because it literally, otherwise my mom literally commented on one time. She saw me just after a shower. She had come come over to my house for some reason, and she looked at my beard and she was like, oh, and I was like, what? And she's like, Dallas, your beard looks so dry. It just looks, why don't you need to put some oil or something? And I go, well, I usually do. She goes, yeah, it looks so much better last week. And I was like, geez, thanks, Mom. I was like, I know I'm going to put it in. I just
the heartwarming honesty of a
parent.
Oh
yeah, my mom, she'll tell me real quick what's going wrong with my look any day of the week. But it comes from a place of caring. At least that's what I tell myself. So it's nice. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, gonna go get the old hair get cleaned up, because it's turning into a mop anyway. Yeah. It's just it's long, and
as I literally have a mop on my head.
Yeah, but your mop looks dope.
I need to get.
For those of you guys who don't know, I don't think we've ever talked about it, but Cameron has dreadlocks, and they're smaller, tighter ones. They're not like the big old fat Rastafarian ones, so they look pretty cool.
Yeah, they're close to pencil
Have you ever
size.
seen an industrial school mop?
Yeah, that's Cameron's head.
That's what Cameron looks like.
One of those you have to put in the bucket and squeeze out.
Yeah. But it's taking you a long time to get them that way.
I remember when you were starting out, and they were much shorter.
Man, when I saw some pictures of when I first got them done, and the first month, it just looks like knots in my hair, just randomly all over the place.
Yeah.
It's really gone a long way.
Yeah.
I think it's looking good.
That's the thing,
I don't know how long they are though.
Takes so much dedication. Well, I mean, they go below. They the ones that are more in the front of your face. They go at least below your chin now. So that's pretty long. I mean, when you think of how much hair has to be all wrapped up in that to get it to that length, it's
7 years at least. 7, yeah. Well, 6. We'll give it 6.
Dang.
We're close to 7. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah. I don't think about that kind of dedication. I grew my hair out for a year and a half. It got to my shoulders.
It was just called COVID.
No. This was before.
Quarantine. Oh, just before quarantine.
Yeah. No, that was you. That was you during.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's just called quarantine.
No, you had a mane.
That's the last time I cut the top of my hair was in January, right before COVID and everything.
Oh, dang.
And so.
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's down past my shoulders if I take it out. And
Dude, you
It's
should.
good in there.
Yeah, you're turning into Chad.
I know.
I still feel like I don't get why he for the length of his hair now. I'm sorry for those guys. For context, I'll tell you what I'm saying. Is Chad's not a friend of ours. He's a guy on a podcast you may have heard of called Cold Ones, which we do reference from time to time. But his hair looks so good when he lets it out.
Yeah.
I don't know why he doesn't grow the rest of his hair out, like on the sides where he's got that shaved whatever
It's just
undercut.
literally a lot harder to keep up.
Maintain.
And it just gets in the way.
Yeah, maybe that's true. I would think at that point when you know your hair is going to look that great when it's long,
Right.
let the rest grow, you know? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my view anyway.
It's just hard to, well, one, especially if you started with just the top, right?
Right.
The top knot, just, growing that out.
Yeah.
Then you have to go through the awkward stage of letting the sides grow out again.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And so it's like, do I really want to go through that?
That's true. At a certain point,
I mean, I've even thought of that because, like, I can
Right.
put my hair down and it's okay because it's not, my hair is fairly thick just in general.
Yeah.
And so, like, just letting it down, like, even just spread to the sides, but it's just the top of my head is like, okay. The problem is because it's thick and also curly, it just becomes very poofy because it curls, but it's not heavy enough to keep itself down.
bro, you're talking. I have the same problem.
And so, but I've thought about, like, if I grow the rest of my hair out, it would weigh it down and I think it would look fine. The problem is then I'd have to grow the rest of my hair out.
And that would take
years.
Yeah.
And then you have to go through this weird, like, just the sides are just shaggy. And
Right.
It's like, I don't know.
For me, it was the conditioner. Like, I got sick of using so much conditioner and having to comb my hair out all the time.
Oh.
Like, and you get the right utensils. You use the conditioner to help with the knots and all that, but you're still just pulling out. Like, I thought I was gonna go bald for a little while.
Sometimes when I put my hand through my hair, I'm like, I feel like I am going bald.
Yeah.
Just because I, like, pull out,
Yeah, it's
all
kind of
day.
alarming sometimes.
Yeah.
And I know this is us, speaking to the choir when Gabby's sitting right here, but
Every single haircut I've ever gotten in my life, whether I'm taking off 1 inch or like,
You're a little quiet. That's all. Yeah.
whether I'm cutting off like 1 inch or 5 inches or just getting it thin, no matter, without fail, I will hear, "There's more hair on the floor than on my head," from the hairdresser, and I'm like, I want to scream, just get my hair lighter and let me leave, because, like,
Wow.
my hair is very, very thick, and it gets very, very hot, and it's like 113 here in the summers,
Yeah.
and I want to die. So,
Sometimes
and my
for
hair used to
weeks.
be, like, in high school, it used to be long. I'm talking, like, my ribs. Like, I had a lot of hair in high school. And, like, now it's just to, like, past my shoulders, which is fine. But, like, after showers and conditioning and, like, going through it with, like, a comb in my fingers and stuff, I have basically, like, a small rodent. And that's just, like, how it is. So I wish I could be like, oh, I'm so sad about your conditioning woes, but I'm like,
I would just say, honestly,
worse.
Gabby, I would just say, own it. When they say that, be like, I would just look at them and go, jealous. Like, because clearly they wish they had that thick of hair. Like, that's what it is.
I know.
I was going to say,
You know.
because my girlfriend, she's got super thick hair. I
Yeah.
think you and her have a lot of the same attributes. I was, in terms of like food, digestion stuff and all this
So,
other kind of stuff.
I knew your girlfriend before we even all knew each other.
Well,
back
that's true.
when I was like, 10 and she was like 14. And we were able to convince, we were in choir together, a community choir, for probably like
That's right.
5 to 6 years or something
I
like
forgot
that.
about that.
Not like a school one, not a church one, just like a community one. So it's traditional. We like got classically trained, all this stuff. And
No big, guys. Just flexing on you.
anyways, we probably got half of our choir convinced that we were sisters.
Really?
For like 2 years running. Like, it was like a...
Really?
Yeah, and we would try to do a thing where we like made sure like our moms they like didn't show up at the same time and like,
See,
or like, oh, that's my aunt, and we're like, oh,
That's
yeah, okay.
crazy.
We convinced many people, especially in that like junior high school age.
Yeah.
We looked very, very similar.
Wow. Okay.
see, that's
Yeah.
just a great con. I can appreciate
It was awesome.
that kind of
That's-
commitment
and
to
see,
the job.
Here's
Yeah,
the fun
yeah.
part. So her younger brother is my age. We're like a few months apart.
That's right.
And so we had to try and be like, oh, so you and I won't say his name, but you and her brotder are like fraternal twins or something. We're like,
you can
no,
say
no,
his
no,
name.
no, no. And we're like, shit, how do we make this work now? She's 4 years older than I am, and 4 years older than her brother. So her brother and I are very, very close in age. And we're like, okay, well, we're not twins. So like, which one of us is adopted? And it's like, well, if we look the same, I can't be the adopted one. So
He was adopted.
Like you started doing like math to this whole thing. You're like, well, how do we keep this going?
Mm-hmm. Well, the problem comes down to it's hard enough to pull off the job of having an older sister. If you have a brother that's the same age as you and has a different birthday, conflicting birthdays, I can see how that would be a big problem.
We thought this out, Tim. Well, see, and here was the fun part. Our two closest friends were also a double sister, where the younger sister was my age and the older sister was Alina's age. So again, we had that 4-year gap, or it might be off a little bit, but so we were able to kind of pair up with them. And like genuinely, the four of us were all friends too. But it worked because everybody was like, "Oh, those are the like so and so sisters, and that's the other sisters, Gabby and Alina." And we were like, "Yeah, yes."
That is so awesome that you guys did that.
And I got so used to. Well, it got to a point where we got a little bit older, where then people started mixing us up. And so we got accustomed to responding to each other's name.
Oh my god! I did not know this.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
We were. I mean, I've known her for a long, long time. So yes, now like especially as adults, like we look different, like just because we're both more mature or whatever. But when we were kids, I mean, we passed as siblings like easy. It was awesome.
That is cool. I definitely did not know that.
Yeah, and we got so unlocked. Anytime our director Susan, she'd be like, "Oh, can you give this to your sister?" And I'm like, "Yep, you got it."
Of course,
no problem.
Wow,
no question.
Actually, no, Susan's pretty good about it. I should say she knew, and she was a smart lady. But anytime like any of the assistant staff or like different faculty or whatever, like, "Oh, can you deliver this to your sister? Make sure it gets home." I'm like, mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's next level. And how old were you guys when you guys were pulling that? You guys were like teenagers?
I have to remember when we each joined, because I joined and she was in a level above me, I think, because it was sectioned by like experience and age, so they're like different. It was like a big community choir, and we had like different choirs within it, where it was like, here are the little kids, and here's like the grade school kids, and this is like the junior high, early high school, and this is like the seniors and women, so it's kind of sectioned off like that. So I joined in like the little when I was like 9. I know it was like 8 or 9, I think. And so she was already in a level above me, so like we knew who each other were. Mm-hmm. We were just kind of like aware of each other at that point. And then by the time I got up into the same level as her, we were like, all right, here we go.
Here's the plan.
We can make this work.
That's awesome. I love that. Thick hair problems.
I don't know. It was always dumb though, because like I was the kid that was like always young for my grade, just because like school and grades and like moving, school, skipping, all stuff, whatever. But like, so there'd always be trips, and it'd be like, oh, we're going on a choir trip, and we're going to go to like Six Flags or something after a festival or whatever. And everything, and this was just like, I don't know, the rule of just like my director and everything, but everything was like, when you're 13 or older, then you can, 14 or older, then you can do everything solo. And I'd be like 12. And everybody else would be 14. And then I'd be 13, everybody's like 16. And they're like, oh, here's all the stuff you can go do when you're 16. I'm like, man, this blows.
Always left out. That sucks.
And it was like, Gabby needs a babysitter. And I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, that's a fight.
That's when you just pull, oh, but I'm going with Big Sister.
Yeah, oh, it was easy.
Big Sister will watch
between
with
that
me.
or my other friend I mentioned, like I was covered. I was fine. But
that's awesome.
I'm like, yeah, I'm 13, but you're the one that when we were at a music, festival, or not festival, concert, I guess, or I guess festival is the right word. I don't know. We went to Colorado. And I'm like, yeah, I'm 13 and can't, walk to the store by myself. But you're the one that accidentally set your sheet music on fire in the oven in the dorm. So, like, who's the adult here?
How?
Or not the oven, the stove. I should say the stove.
But still,
they put it on
they
and,
just
like,
lay papers on the stove?
Yes, we always had these folders that were in these, like, big, like, plastic not zip, Velcro thingies.
Yeah,
because we never sheet music all the time. But if you had, like, binders, it'd fall out and it'd be messy. So they were, like, Velcro sealed. But the plastic.
Like the Trapper Keepers?
No, I think I know what she's talking about. Like they're like these, they're like an index, and you can just throw a bunch of papers in there. They're like a larger kind of folder that closes over.
Oh yeah,
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking the 3-ring binders.
No. But yeah, we were in Colorado for this like, West Coast, Northwest, like big, people from all over the Northwest states coming. I mean, this guest director who was like well known, all this stuff, whatever. And we get there and the dorms we're in, they're not bad, they're just not awesome. And you could tell they hadn't been. It was like intro college dorms, but like not great. It was old. Like the walls were bricks and like the stoves like just turned on and you're like, oh, if you like bump the little knobs, it would just like turn the stovetop on, and they were like open like with the rings and it wasn't like
electric
fire,
burners.
kind of.
Yeah.
And so
The coils.
this wasn't my dorm, by the way, with me and my faux sister and our two best friends. This was a different room.
Wow.
Mind you. But yeah, they rested it on the stove, and then we came back, we were like, what's going on? And they opened their door and it was just smoke. And I was like, and then the alarm went off and we were like, oh, and then it was a whole thing. And we had the final concert that night. It was great.
Wow. Your life sounds like a 90s sitcom.
Yeah.
Like, in a good way. It sounds very
Thank
entertaining. Like, those kind of shenanigans. Like, that sounds like something that would happen in, like, Friends or something, you know?
Yes. I have seen Friends and know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, and
Yeah, don't you remember that
Gabby was
episode?
alive in the 90s.
I was alive in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I lived.
I lived. I was there.
I was born in the 90s.
Wow. Yeah. The best decade ever.
Arguable.
Yeah,
Arguable.
yeah, I'm with Cameron.
I don't
Dude,
know.
put me as a teenager in the 70s.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't be here. Wait, then why would that be a good thing? You're like, I'd be dead.
Because I would have lived great, man.
Oh, okay,
I would've
okay.
lived great.
You would have
It would've
burned
been
out
wrapped
fast
up.
and off. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I got you.
I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. Now it's 2020. I'm here for a long ass time.
I'm here forever.
I like how it's nearing the end of 2021 and everybody's still saying it's 2020.
2020, yeah.
And it's kind of
Because
just
mentally,
because the past,
yes.
yeah.
It was the year we never lived.
Well,
The past 2 years have just been a blur. And
2020
kinda.
has like I think a 3-year echo where it's just gonna be
no, Tim. It's a 2-year echo because we don't want 2022 to
Yeah.
also be 2020.
It's gonna
And
be.
you're
Don't you
jinxing
put
it
that
right
evil
now.
on me, Ricky Bobby.
It's
You can walk.
it's gonna be that.
Shut up. Jeez, all right. Freaking Krampus over there is bringing us bad vibes for the holidays.
It's not even Thanksgiving. Can we lay off Christmas? till we
No,
get past
no.
Thanksgiving?
That's why I'm
do you
saying you're
live in
bringing it too
America?
early and you're bringing it too. Yeah, it's no good. Get out of here.
I didn't bring up Christmas. You did.
You're just bringing up all the bad things. It's horrible. It's horrible. But yeah, no, I think some good things have happened in between if we really look back. I mean, this is the year we started the podcast.
Yep.
So hopefully everyone in this room at least thinks that's a good thing. He's like couple. I can see Tim over there just like looking shifty eyed, like maybe I don't know. I
we'll
don't like
see.
this. Well, you must not like it that much. You haven't even listened to one episode. I mean, you're not
It's
even
true.
curious to hear how we sound.
It's true.
I mean-
am I curious? Yeah, no.
Or do you have like a big like problem listening to yourself?
I do.
I know that, Gabby. I know you do. Yeah. I don't see why, but yeah.
Because I sound like a child.
Well, especially when you talk like that.
Yeah. She said like a child. Well, I was gonna say that's just your personality. I think I think it's funny. I think it comes out good. I mean, we are comedic
Thank-
at the heart, after all.
We should be having fun while we're doing this.
Yeah.
That should be the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, yeah, it should be something to kind of laugh at, and I mean, if possible, like, be able to laugh at yourself on some of those things too. I mean, there's plenty of things I've listened to about myself that I was like, oh shit, yeah, that seems annoying, or that was dumb, or you know. But it's just like if it comes off funny, then
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course you wouldn't. You haven't listened to any of them.
Dallas
Yeah.
annoying? What?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So yeah. For those who don't know, I do all the editing, and which makes sense. I mean, I'm the one who started this thing.
So all of your comments send to Dallas.
Well, I mean, if you post comments on our Twitter or on YouTube, I mean, that's where we're going to see them anyway, so everyone can see them. But what I'm trying to say is I've had to listen to all of us way more than any of you have, because I've had to listen to all the editing. So you have to listen through it at least once through, then go back and make your edits. I mean, I'll make edits as I'm listening, but then you have to listen to it again to make sure everything like sounds good, and especially after it processes and all that junk. And I've listened to us a lot.
I believe you.
Yeah. Like whatever the hours are that are posted, like imagine that times probably
At least probably 3.
Probably about 3 would be a fair estimate.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about it, but it's just like you really, the more you listen to yourself, you're like, oh yeah, well that's where I was doing that, or I was too loud there, or, just whatever. So get to fix a lot of things. It's good. It's a good thing. Good experience.
Yep.
I enjoy it. And I've noticed that there's a couple things that we kind of kept as things that like staples that kept moving through, like Gabby's Thought. That's definitely a good staple that we've kept. And there's a couple other little memes in there and different jokes and things that I think we could revive. But, that's something we could always talk about later. But I guess I tend to post more than I cut out. Like I try to keep it as pretty much whatever we record in the room is like what gets posted. Sure. I mean, other than like what's at the very beginning or something, like if it's before we technically start, then a lot of times it's boring stuff or it's just not relevant. So I'll cut that out. But yeah, so I tend to post a lot of things that are a bit on the inside, but I don't really care. I think people might like that more. I mean, if you don't like it, let me know.
Exactly.
In the comments.
I mean, if you're listening, I feel like you probably like it, but I don't know. Maybe you're hate listening. I don't know. You like listen to it to fuel your fire. See,
I feel like that's just too much work.
Some people hate is work. To be honest,
it is.
Hate is a lot of work. It's hard. It's hard to hold a grudge, but if that's what gets you off, cool. I'm cool to be that.
Yeah, we'll take the view.
Not like that, Tim. You pervert. He just made a face.
I made the same face.
It's not like that.
Either way, we'll take the view.
Yeah, I'll take it either way. If it gets you off like that or the other way, I don't really care. If you're listening, cool. You're a fan. We like it.
Exactly.
Or a hate fan. We like that too.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't make a face. Dallas is making that up.
Okay. Let's see who the people believe.
Yeah.
Gabby, do you have one for us today?
Oh yeah.
Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, so
have you thought?
Have you
had
Have you had a thought in the
past 7 weeks?
No, goodbye. I am done. I will retire.
Brain dead.
Here and now. I think, and this might be in a little bit of the aftermath of Dune and just other things.
So you've seen Dune?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not here to talk about the movie. That's not my. That was just kind of my prefacing of where I was coming from.
Okay.
That and into just thinking about actors in general and range that they have or do not have. Where I'm like, I feel like everybody falls on a continuum right now. I'm talking like current actors still doing things.
Sure.
From like, your range or your typecasting, I don't know, from like Ryan Reynolds to like Gary Oldman. And I'm like, where are you in the middle? Because Zach and I last night watched this Netflix original movie where Idris Elba played a black Western cowboy. And it was horrible. And I was like, I thought you could do anything, sir. And now I am so sad. And everybody's like, he should be Bond. And I'm like, he couldn't play a cowboy. So I'm sad.
This movie is called The Harder They Fall.
It was
a brand new movie on Netflix.
I saw it come up. I didn't look at it.
I saw the trailer. It intrigued me. I was like, oh, this is interesting.
It could have been so cool.
I just think it was a cool idea. I don't think the director was the director for this movie.
Correct.
And I think that's kind of how it went. The acting was fine, I guess. But it was one of those movies.
That's never a good sign.
The acting was fine.
It wasn't something that stood out as bad, but it also didn't stand out as great.
It just didn't stand out.
It just didn't stand out.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
And it's Idris Elba.
And it was Idris Elba, which is like, okay.
What?
They tried to make him like feel like The Rock. Like when he showed up, they shot it in a way that he looked massive
like
in comparison to everybody else.
Yeah.
To like, so it literally, when I first saw it, I was like, are they just trying to make him The Rock? right? And it was the same like big, bulky, whatever. But it was that combined with the fact that the movie was an extra 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
Than it needed to be. If it was an hour and a
There
half.
were 19 original songs on there, guys, in this movie.
19?
Yes, that was a musical.
19.
It's
No.
not a musical.
Soundtracks.
The soundtrack, there was soundtrack
It
songs
felt like a giant
with
music
vocals
video.
behind probably 80%
Probably
of the
was.
movie. Behind 80% of the movie
bruh.
had vocals to it.
Wow.
Bruh.
And they were almost all like hip hop remixed.
Of like old Creole hymn.
Yeah,
and I was
old
like,
Creole
excuse
hymns,
me,
yeah.
what are we doing?
That's weird.
It was very weird.
Okay, but so I was thinking about that because you have like Idris Elba, who's like, the British dapper gentleman. Everybody's like, he should play Bond, whatever. And then he's just there and he's just like flat face, like walking around looking like a thwomp. And I'm like, dude, you're killing me.
See,
Because then I thought about Dune and I was like, Josh Brolin was just Thanos without the makeup on.
True.
Like he was walking around and I was like, homie, you need to get out. Like, or like Tim, you were talking about Ryan Reynolds the other night, where it's like
Right.
Ryan Reynolds is a great actor when he does one thing.
right, when he does Ryan Reynolds. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, if he had to be anybody but Ryan Reynolds, I'm sure he would fail. Like, I don't know.
He was Ryan Reynolds in in the remake of The Magnificent Seven.
Ugh.
He was the gambler.
But he was Ryan
I saw
Reynolds.
that. I don't remember him in that.
I don't
Exactly.
I didn't even know he was in that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I just remember Chris Pratt and what's his
Or no,
name?
Chris Pratt was the gambler. I
And
was
Denzel Washington.
I was
Anytime Ryan Reynolds is
so
just
Chris
Ryan
Pratt was so like Ryan Reynolds
Yeah.
in that part. I thought it was Ryan Reynolds.
Can
wow.
Can I real quick sidebar that the Chris Pratt memes of him voicing everybody is like my new favorite thing right
Yeah.
now.
You know what we're talking about?
Voicing everybody.
Because he came out and was announced that he is voicing Mario in the new Mario movie.
Yeah.
He is voice acting Mario in the Super Mario movie that comes out next year. Because of that, I've just been seeing memes. Memes have been
so
going around
good.
everywhere where he's playing everybody.
Yes.
It was
one
like
Gabby showed me
HBO
today.
Max is revamping the Harry Potter movies with Chris Pratt voicing Hermione Granger. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's all over the place. It's funny.
But yeah, I was thinking like, where do some like actors you know and love, and current ones, I'm not talking about, in the past or if they retired or passed away, whatever, just like right now, where people lie? Because I feel like we definitely have a continuum, whether it's quality or not. I just mean the actual range of the person. Because like, I don't know, like I feel like I used to think, and this is credit to Dallas, I used to think Matthew McConaughey was very one note. And then we started watching different things, like Dallas made us watch True Detective, and I was like, oh shit, this dude can act. Like, that, I don't know, that got me. And then Dune just made me think, because Josh Brolin was just Josh Brolin.
I wonder if
He's
that's
just Thanos.
it's more of it's kind of an interesting thing you talking about, Matthew McConaughey. It makes it so that we're now able to see, and I think this might just be a generational, like actor generational thing, where we're now actually seeing not just pretty faces, but actors that can actually act again, shine above other people, right?
Yeah.
Like we look at, again, like Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt played great in, Guardians of the Galaxy, but now every movie he's in, he's just Chris Pratt playing Guardians of the Galaxy. Right. Where that's just typecasting. That's all. And is that, so the question now is that, the casting, are they casting him for that role and they're just not giving them the opportunity to do other things? Or is that the actor just not having the range to do other things?
I mean, I know in the industry they definitely get typecast because if they know that it'll pull in money, of course you're going to get stuck at that for a while.
But even like Zendaya in Dune, dude, her face was the same thing, and she did one thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going insane.
Yeah, I don't think she was even acting. I think they were just
was
taking
just there,
candid
and I was
shots
like,
of her, and then they just added blue to her eyes, and they're like, oh yeah, that'll work. Like, that's good. But yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I mean, that big movie that came out, was it last year or was it this year? I can't remember. For Amazon with Chris Pratt.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow War.
Tomorrow or
That's
Future
the
War
other
or
one
whatever.
that Gabby and I watched, which were, by the way, 0-2 on the streaming movies.
We went from there to the Idris Elba one.
Because Tomorrow War was not, like, it was the same thing where the movie would have been
stopped.
okay if it ended a half hour earlier. But it was similar where you're like, Chris Pratt doesn't need to be in this movie, and he's just not doing that great of a job, or it was clearly like Amazon was just giving him a fat check to just do it whatever
because
he
they
wanted.
knew people would pay to watch it.
The only reason this movie is any more headlining is because Chris Pratt is in it.
I figured when every bit of, because I haven't watched it because I figured it would be bad, but every bit of marketing for that, all I ever saw was Chris Pratt.
Right.
And I was like, so he's like the only star. He's like the ship runner in this whole thing. And I'm like, and it's just so, I don't know.
In that whole movie, the
hokey,
plot makes no
futuristic.
sense.
Right.
So bad.
Like,
I
it's
think-
super weird.
I think it's actually a genre that's developing. Because you have
Bad movies.
Well, you also have the Ryan Reynolds streaming movie,
Well, no, you're talking
6
about
Feet Under or whatever it's called.
no, Six Underground.
Six Underground.
See, that movie is just hilarious, but yeah,
It's hilarious because it's Ryan Reynolds just being Ryan Reynolds for an hour and
that was just hilarious.
40
'cause it's
minutes.
Not that, you know,
And
again,
that's why
Is it
like,
a
I want
comedy?
to.
no,
No.
it's an action
No.
movie.
it's like they're trying to make Ryan Reynolds Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's very much like I think it comes out where the plot is that he faked his death so that he could become a Black Ops super spy and essentially assemble a team to take out super bad dudes, but nobody can find him because he's dead, technically.
yeah.
My favorite thing about that movie is that what's his name?
Franco?
Dave Franco's in it.
Oh,
And he's in it as one of the main
the
characters.
lesser Franco.
And he dies within the first, 5 minutes.
It's
He dies right away.
He gets impaled
He's
by
there
a
to die.
forklift.
It's,
Yeah.
so,
Nice.
it's so good though.
Nice.
That part where you're like, oh, it's Dave Franco. And then
God.
just,
But
and you're like,
Oh shit.
Zach,
All right.
Zach, you hit it though. It is Ryan Reynolds' Mission Impossible. Because if we remember the first Mission Impossible, it's Emilio Estevez who gets killed in the first 5 minutes.
There you go.
And we're like, wait,
Emilio!
they killed him?
The Mighty Duck Man.
Yeah. And he got impaled as well, by the way.
Oh,
there you
so
go.
it's just
So-
an homage.
Well, and
I
that's
wouldn't
why.
be surprised.
Well, and that's why I want to make it clear. I'm not saying whether they're a good or bad actor. It's just their range. Because I feel like, and I think it came up from the Dune thing, but it also came up because recently, because my mom loves James Bond. Okay, she loves Pierce Brosnan. She loves Sean Connery. Like she loves Bond.
All
she loves
ladies do.
Yeah. And
That's the thing. That's his thing.
okay. And she was like thinking about, she's like, oh, who's the next one going to be? And I was like, man, some actors in my brain could really work for it, not because they're good actors, but just because it's within their range. And other ones, I was like,
Right.
And they've been talking about Idris Elba playing
yeah.
him. It's been out there as a potential
Yeah,
thing for a
I heard it
while.
years ago.
Yeah.
And I still don't think he would do it bad. I think this movie that we watched was just bad direction and just bad I just don't think it was written and directed in a way that really was good. And I think Idris Elba could have made it a lot better.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, also Idris Elba, spoiler alert, was the villain. He's not a main. He's not like the main character either.
Gotcha.
Oh, he was a wooden villain. Oh.
Yeah, he's a villain
What
that
a
you're
waste.
like you
Just
know,
like Pinocchio.
You know the plot points of it.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a hard movie to guess.
Pinocchio was the bad guy?
Yeah. Totally.
Rewatch that movie.
I'd rather not. Puppets kind of freak me out.
He burns a whale
Yeah.
from the inside. That's pretty messed up.
Oh. I thought you were going to say something totally different about that. But if that makes him the villain, then okay.
Nah, dude,
He
I'm just
also-
messing with you, man.
He also left.
I have a friend. It's
He
funny
also
that
left his friend as a donkey back.
that's true.
with the-
Yeah,
with
he
the
left.
bad
He
guy.
ran away.
That's
with the other
villain
bad.
worthy.
But no, I mean, obviously Pinocchio is the protagonist in that story, but he's not the bad guy. But it's funny that you didn't pick up on the sarcasm. So I don't know if people listening, because I have a friend of mine who listens to our podcast, and he listened to an episode just a few days ago, and he even commented on YouTube. It was actually one of our first comments, and I was joking about how what is his name? The guy who plays Darth Vader.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we were talking about Conan and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
And then I brought up James Earl Jones, and I was like, yeah, well, James Earl Jones' voice is fake. Because you guys were talking about how how magnanimous his voice is, and I was like, it was fake. And then I think Tim even was like, wait, what? He's like, no, because you can see him in Conan, and you can see him speaking. Because I was like, it's fake for Star Wars, and then I was like, well, no, it's fake the whole time. Like they faked it. It's always been a fake. And you're like, I've seen him in interviews, and I was like, that's fake. I was like, and my friend actually commented like, that is his real voice. Like he was like serious. He's like, that is not, And I was like, dude, I was joking, right? And he goes, oh, you were joking. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I know it when I do sarcasm, I have been told by many people, they're like, you need like an indicator or something. Cause when you're sarcastic, I really try to sell
like
it.
a signpost.
Yeah. And
like
unfortunately, obviously
grow.
you can't see our facial expressions or anything else. So if you're listening, I'm sarcastic very much. Speaking of being like Ryan Reynolds and being typecast, that's very similar in terms of just like my sarcasm rate. So just want you to know that if you hear me say something that seems actually ridiculous, give me a little bit of credit. I have a little bit of intelligence, and I like.
He just hides it well.
I like to make jokes. Yeah, I like people thinking I'm dumb. It's actually really funny, or just purely believing, being like Cameron and being like, oh, he was the bad guy? Like, oh shit. Like, and then you go and you spread that to the information to your friends, and they're just like, what are you listening to? Like, that podcast sounds stupid. Like, so, we're comedic at the core here. So just remember that.
Take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah. You should be laughing most of the time when we're talking. So, if you're not, then I guess we're not that funny.
Keep hate listening.
Hate listen, yes. That's a new thing. I'm going to promote this.
Yeah.
I'm going to send it on our
Spite
Twitter.
streaming.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, yes.
Hate streaming. I like that.
Hate streaming, yes. Spite listening. What were you going to say, Cameron?
Oh, just hashtag.
Yeah.
Hashtag, yeah.
Hashtag Spite Mike.
No.
No.
No?
That'll be our first.
Mad Mike. It's
Mad
Magic Mike.
Magic
Oh,
Mike.
no.
That'll be our first.
Magic
first
So you
Mike.
talk about typecasting.
Our first
shit
merch
potatoes.
will just be Spite streaming.
Spite
Hashtag Spite streaming.
Hashtag spite streaming.
And then it just says freeform podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
We
a good
can't use
t-shirt
hate.
there.
We can't use hate
No,
because
spite.
people will.
Yeah, Spite.
Yeah, no, I like spite because if we use hate, people will think it's like an agenda thing
No.
or something. They'll be like, they'll think it has something to do with hate crimes and
Spite streaming.
what with Tim's history with blackface, it'll really take off. And so we don't want that going.
I was just going to transition us back to Gabby's thought.
Oh, you were?
'cause, Yeah.
okay.
Well, and I should preface it, I didn't have like let's take a poll or whatever. I think it's also just like fueled by my frustration with Timberly Charlemagne.
Tambourine Chamberlain.
Tim.
His name
Yes.
is Timothy. It's okay.
It's Timothée
It's just
Chalamet.
spelled really weird. All
Timothée
I can say.
Timberlake
Chamberlain.
Champagne. Because he's walking
His
around.
father was Wilt Chamberlain.
He's walking around and Dune. I mean, he's doing a good job being a little whiny brat, but he looks like he should be in Pride and Prejudice. And I'm like, get out of here.
He really does. Now that you say that, he looks like you could just take him out of that movie and copy paste him, just change obviously what he's wearing.
Yeah.
Actually, but only about half the time because in
Yeah.
the beginning he's wearing some really
He's
old
wearing
school
this
looking
like
royalty.
black pea coat with the collar up.
You're right.
And I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
And so many people are like idolizing him right now for this. Like younger people, don't get me wrong, are like,
Oh, yeah.
he's a god. And I'm
Yeah.
like, he needs to leave.
I gotta be
You know what
honest.
else he needs to do?
Delete.
He needs to. Where's he leaving?
needs to
He needs to
eat
leave
something.
Earth. He needs to go to actual Dune.
He needs to leave the set and go,
Go
eat
to
something
Arrakis.
and go on a run.
Yeah.
So
Go on a
he
run.
needs to go on a run, have a steak,
And never come back.
and
He needs to be like. He needs
Go in the sun.
then,
needs to be
and
like-
go outside.
Yeah, like
Now-
Forrest Gump. Just
now-
start running across America.
no, I don't want to defend him. However,
Yeah.
if he didn't
Okay.
look the way he looks, Jason Momoa's joke would not have been as good.
That was the one good part.
That was really funny.
That was
actually.
he put some
At
muscle
one point,
on. Have
yeah.
I? No.
Yeah, he touches
Yes.
him. He like grabs his shoulder, and Jason Momoa's like
break him in half,
is like
yeah.
his like mentor, whatever.
Cool uncle.
And so he like grabs his like shoulder and kind of feels, and he goes like, oh, he's like, have you been putting on muscle? He goes, oh, does it feel like it? And then he goes, No.
Yeah.
He just goes, no.
And he doesn't. So
because Charlemagne is like super skinny. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie. I mean, he's pretty popular, so I'm guessing you know probably way more about him than you do us, which makes a ton of sense. But I'm just saying he's not. He's definitely not a a strong man.
Yeah.
Well, especially and then they put him on there. They put not just Jason Momoa, but also super strong man Dave Bautista.
Right.
And
Josh
he's
Brolin.
huge, you know.
Right.
Him and Josh
Brolin,
Brolin,
and Josh Brolin's in
fight,
pretty great shape. He's not like the biggest guy, but he is in pretty great shape. And so he's with all these tall, big, masculine, buff guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they
People
do talk
look like
about
they could survive Dune.
right. I was gonna say exactly. You're totally right, Cameron.
And I
He
know
does
that's
look like
part of
someone
it,
who would
Tim.
survive
I know
it
that's
better.
part of his character. Blah blah blah.
Right.
But,
No,
like,
actually,
Right.
I was gonna say for the D&D crowd, he's just a high dex rogue. So
For those of you who know what Tim is talking about,
Welcome.
please let him know that you're listening because he needs some fans. Okay.
wow, I do.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, no, I'll take them.
I think you deserve them. Yeah.
Plus, I'll take D&D fans because they're the best. So there's that.
There you go. They're a nat.
Tim just got a +1.
You're a
on his
nat 20
charisma.
That was a +1 to charisma. Yeah.
in Tim's.
I'm gonna roll advantage with charisma. And here we go.
all I'm saying is for Twilight, they had to pale out Robert Pattinson and try to pale him out, make his hair bald. I'm like, you could put Timberlake Chalamet in there right now. You would blend. Like, no
Timberlane Cantaloupe. You could put him in. Yeah, no, and
Timberland,
Cantaloupe. I like the
Charlemagne.
Timberland Justin. You could put him in.
Timberland,
Yeah,
Chalamet, Justin.
I love it. We're just gonna get to a point where we're actually saying other celebrity names, and people are gonna be so confused. They're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Timberlane, Charlemagne.
Tambourine. I love Tambourine as his first name.
Tambourine
Tambourine Chamberlain.
Wow.
But anyway, I mean, we
The
can only
butchering of a name.
Yeah, I mean, we can make fun of him because he's so popular. I mean, like I always say,
People are idolizing him right now, which is why I'm like, huh?
yeah, which is even better. I love going against the grain. Everyone knows this. If you've been listening, you know I love going against the grain. I love going against iPhone and Apple, and I also love punching up. I'm not gonna punch down. I don't like bullying, but I do like fighting larger opponents. I got no problem with that, and he is clearly a large opponent. You can't say I'm bullying him. I'm a nobody. Nobody knows me, so I'm punching up.
Tim, Dallas, if you were ever able to see him and meet him face to face, you're not allowed to punch him.
And that's the
You
other
would
thing.
break
punching
him in
down.
half.
I wouldn't punch him, but I was gonna say if I did meet him, you guys don't know about because obviously you haven't seen us unless you actually know us, like my friend who listens. By the way, Kourtney, if you're listening, shout out to
Kourtney,
shout out to you,
dude.
buddy. Shout out to you, buddy.
Of course, he believed you.
I know because you guys all have met Kourtney. Yeah.
Wow, Kourtney, you're gonna
I
take
didn't-
that?
I didn't say his
Nice
name,
guy.
but
He's
yeah.
such a nice
Love
dude.
Kourtney.
He
Yeah.
just takes
No.
everything at such face value.
Kourtney's a super nice guy, and so
That
of
was
course.
Cameron. So
Yeah. But of course he listened. Well, we say that from a friendly point of view, Kourtney. You know that. But shout out to you, buddy. Thanks for listening. I appreciate your comment, man. And he's been rating us. He's been putting some
yeah.
thumbs up. So yeah, I appreciate you.
Courtney's a homie.
I appreciate Kourtney. Yeah, I wouldn't look. Like all people. Again, I only make fun of my really good friends. So I wouldn't be picking on anybody who I felt like I wasn't close to. Obviously, but sometimes you got to say that because people take people have feelings.
we're
about things.
we're in a rather sensitive time.
Yeah, no,
society.
of course. And also, I've definitely dealt with that before because I'm someone who's a bit more thick-skinned, and I kind of grew up with people like that who, when you like my whole family is like that, and I grew up with a lot of friends like that too. So when we like each other, we actually pick on each other more, and that's how you're a part of the crew. You know what I mean? Like if I can pick on you, you're like, oh, we're good buddies.
Yeah.
Not everyone knows that. They think, oh, you make fun of me. They're just like, oh, you're picking on me all the time, and I'm like, yeah, there's a reason. Like, you're cool. Like, I like to give you a hard time. It's fun. It's fun to tease those you love. But I don't know. Maybe that's just my sick psychosis. Gabby, she's writing in a notepad right now. She's taking notes.
The fact that you think I'm writing in a notebook right now is more concerned because I'm sitting here drinking water. But
Well, delusions. Delusions, yeah.
I'm off the clock, bro.
Yeah.
Pay me.
All right. Well. Pay me.
I mean,
hey, I'm trying. I actually talked about this in the most recent episode I posted. We had mentioned a Patreon, and I said no, that's not why I do this. But like I said, I'm not against monetizing our episodes and all that kind of stuff. There's a couple things we got to reach, a couple goals we got to reach first before we can get to that whole monetization thing. But, I don't know if you really like listening to these, we won't add an auspicious amount of commercials like some people do. Cause I enjoy just doing this and we all make enough money. We're okay. But
no, just your occasional ad or
yeah. What are all the basics?
Space or Dallas in post make sure
Skill
to bleep those
share.
names out. So that, otherwise, it's free.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, fuck you guys. I mean, unless you pay me, then you're great.
No,
Bleep
we're
out the
punching up.
names, but you say that.
No, I'm
because-
still going to say fuck you guys. Yeah, because they
Yeah,
don't
but
know
you
who
can't-
we're saying to.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Because then
We're
it won't
still
hurt us.
punching up. It's okay. They make more money than
Yeah,
we
and
do.
definitely. Yeah, no, I was going to say they support
Definitely.
90% of YouTube.
I don't
So,
know. That's
I
true,
mean,
guys.
And podcasts.
and podcasts. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. But, yeah, no, I've been enjoying it a
well, that
lot.
puts us in the top 10% because they don't support us. So
We're not supported by anyone other than me. Actually, I'm. Yeah, it's just me. But that's fine. That's
Tim,
fine.
what did you want to? You were like, and I totally cut you off and went somewhere else.
Oh no, I was just thinking I was still thinking about your thought.
Good.
Because
She's infiltrated the mind.
I think what you're asking is, I think it's being dictated by genre of movies being put out more than it has in the past been the ability for actors to take on parts. I think it's become. I think there's several new genres out there. I think there's the streaming movie that has the one A-list actor with like maybe a B-list, maybe a couple C's, and then a bunch of nobodies, and it usually goes too long. It's usually too long of a movie, runs out of story, and they're kind of counting on the A-list actor to hold it together and to keep it going. And if it's not done well, it falls flat, like the one you guys watched with Idris and the Chris Pratt, Tomorrow War thing. And even the Ryan Reynolds, it was fun, but it was like a terrible movie.
Right.
And then there's the hardest genre of all, Disney Channel, where you have to sing, dance, and kind of act, and also not have a soul because they're gonna fill you up with one just how they want.
No, the Disney one, you can't have a soul, and when you give up your soul, you get the ability to sing, dance, and act.
I don't think they all get those abilities, Tim. They just kind of pretend sometimes.
None
Everybody's
of that
like,
is post-production soul work right there.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
That's why majority of their films are animated.
Yeah.
You don't have to have those
Chris
skills.
Pratt's in one.
I was gonna, and you, they, like the singing. A lot of times they'll bring in other singing talents. They've done that for decades. A lot of the old school classics ones, like the first one that comes to my mind is Lion King. The singers are totally different
Prince
than
of
the people
Egypt
who.
is where my brain always goes.
That's
Like,
not even a
none of the-
Disney film.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know, but just that era, like where none of them actually.
DreamWorks. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
All the singers usually were different people. And it was always funny because you'd like hear the singing and you'd be like, oh shit. One that really comes to my mind is Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
The guy who sings is a totally different guy. And you can tell that he kind of like lowers his voice to like kind of sound more like the Beast, like a kind of a this when he's singing. But it's like,
It's a different voice.
it's a different voice. And you can tell, even as a
Listen,
kid, I could tell. I was like,
Just
that's
like James Earl Jones and Darth Vader.
fake.
Sometimes
It's
when
fucking
you're.
fake.
See, but you used Beauty and the Beast, and
Yeah.
there's also an example of a generational gap there because Angela Lansbury sings the song Beauty and the
That's
Beast.
right.
And she doesn't, nobody sings for her.
Right, she voices and sings.
And she's been,
She's the teapot, in case you don't know what we're talking about.
she's,
Mrs. Potts.
Mrs.
Excuse
Potts.
you.
and if you,
Literally.
Her
if,
title.
yeah, if
She's
you look at-
married.
yeah,
Apparently.
She has a child.
she does, Chip, yeah. If
Don't
you-
know where her husband is, but
She probably killed him.
Actually,
Wait, doesn't,
isn't
like,
the lore
at the
that
very
the
end-
Beast was the
does-
father of
What?
Chips?
Wait, what?
So I think I remember reading that they're in the lore. Chip is the Beast's son.
Oh,
Yo, this is like the Peach and Bowser Jr. thing again.
Probably true.
That's like what this is.
Wait, either that or like in the dark, truth of where Beauty and the Beast came from. I don't
mean, it's a French fairy tale. It's gonna be twisted.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it was when he was 11 is when it happened to him. So how could he have fathered a child?
Well, in the Disney movie, yeah.
No, I thought in the original, I thought that was all true. Like because when you track it back, because it says he was like there for like 10 years. It was like 10 years later because it was before his 21st birthday.
I think the 21st thing was a Disney.
They may have added the 21st thing.
When you're 21st, you're old and ugly, so do it before then. Find a person.
Well, I think that's part of their message, but the
flower dies and so do you.
Wow. That's bleak. But no, I think that the weird thing.
Go download Tinder.
What?
It just feels like such this like push of like when you're 21, then it's over. So go quick.
Yeah.
Find a person.
Get drunk.
Do whatever you need.
That goes up there.
Download Tinder. Like
Kidnap her.
Kidnap her. No, she stayed of her own free will. I mean, kidnap her father.
Yeah. She didn't stay of her own free will. She made a deal that was she made a
deal of her own free will.
She sacrificed herself, is what she did.
But she did it of her own free will.
Yeah, okay.
Isn't that coercion?
But anyway, Cameron, please continue with the Mrs. Potts thing because I'm a little like, what?
I just remember seeing somewhere that it was like a fan theory that the Beast fathered Chip.
A fan theory,
and it was either
I think it's called fan fiction.
I don't know. I don't remember where this is coming from.
Is he a furry?
No,
the Beast.
Yeah.
I mean, people probably have made
Bella's
it.
a furry.
I was gonna say, is she into furries? Then?
Yes, she's into furries.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Bella.
Yeah,
Belle.
Belle. Yeah.
Oh.
Because she's seen him. Way before Prince time. She's like.
If you remember, though, well,
she did give the eyes.
I will say the Disney movie did that one right in terms of like an interspecies possible relationship because
is there a right way?
Hold on.
Donkey.
Let me.
The line that just got drawn.
Let me explain it.
Shrek.
Let me explain it. So, I was gonna say like Shrek or something, but where in reality he is a human, right? So at the core of him, he is a human. Also, at least in the Disney version, who knows what the original tale is? Because like I've read old original Grimm tales, and they're all fucked up and terrible. But in the original,
to make kids obey.
Exactly. And so in this one, in the Disney version, it's very good because they never kiss before he turns. She actually, in fact, technically never says "I love you" to him until he's shot dead with an arrow.
Nice.
He literally.
That's
spoiler alert.
Remorse, by the way.
He literally. No, I remember this because that's one of my favorite Disney films growing up. And he literally like is laying there dying because he got stabbed and shot and a bunch of other things that Gaston did to him. And he literally like rolls his eyes back and falls back and is like this. And then she's like, no, Beast, I love you. And then all of a sudden all the shit happens where, of course it changes. But it took him basically dying for her to even be like, yes, I'll admit.
That doesn't convince me that she's not into furry.
So, well, she sure seems a lot into him once he's turned into a human because they kissed and they're dancing and everything's, so.
Also, his human face, when he turns around, it's weird.
It is a little weird. I've always thought that, too. I agree. Because it's like, I think it's because they emphasize so much on his face.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because when he turns around, his eyes are, like, piercing. He's like...
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, shit. And if you for those of you who are listening, I just turned dramatically and stared at him in the eye.
Yeah, you did.
Piercing my eyes, into his brain. Yeah. But if you've seen that, what did you think about that? Let us know. Let us know what you thought about that. Did you like Beauty and the Beast? I personally think it's one of the greatest classics that Disney's ever done. Personally,
it's up there.
Argue that.
I really liked it. I've always liked it.
It was so you liked it for other reasons, but it was also one of the most groundbreaking animated movies that we've had in film.
Why?
There was snow.
Okay.
And
They had to draw a lot of white on the ground.
the flower fell down. Remember that part?
Okay.
And then they fought in the rain.
Well, they did have a lot of speaking creatures. That was really cool.
That's okay.
But that's not the reason it was. No, actually, I do remember why it's groundbreaking.
Yeah, the technical
They
side.
blended 3D animation with because when they dance in that ballroom and they show
that's
and they
the
do
most
the circular,
noticeable one. But
but there's a lot of other ones where they blended it, and they did it so well that even now when you look back, you're like, actually, it's pretty well done. Like you can hardly tell the transitions and stuff. It's really good.
You can tell certain at certain frames in the ballroom because it's such a wide space.
Right.
But
and they do turning shots too.
They did so much integration of computer graphics, and so seamlessly, a lot of it is invisible.
Yeah.
So,
well, also
there's a reason they got so many Academy
awards
for technical things.
Well, also, just fun fact, you want to talk about Academy Awards and just good quality in that movie? George R.R. Martin wrote the script for that one. Mm-hmm. So
I'm just wondering how many times after everybody got put back or whatever, the normal and the people, and then they like got married and she moved in and stuff, has she just like picked up a cup and been like started talking to him, and then Chip, like the boy, walks in, she's like, like you do that for so many months, and all of a sudden she's just like afraid to pick stuff up because she's like waiting for it to move, and they walk in, they're like, "Girl, you good?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, huh?"
They're like, "We're not there anymore."
I always had a question about the Be Our Guest scene.
Why?
You mean the musical thing?
No, because everything in that castle, like all of the dishes and stuff, were people.
I think I know what you're going to say, and I have the same question.
Like, is it awkward when she sees one of the servants that she ate off of? Like, now a person?
Okay, that was actually not where I was going, but that is interesting.
But that was like, I don't know.
That is interesting. My question, actually,
I feel like I'm the servant. I would feel awkward.
Well, they were servants in a castle. They knew what their role was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bet they still ate off of those people because, and here's my theory, because if all the people
continue to be plates, like what are you saying?
Well, listen. So if all the people became all of the essentially, furniture and appliances and flatware and whatever in the castle, right? Like usable objects. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that the castle was now empty of all objects and furniture and everything because all the people became back to
they got to make an IKEA run, dude.
Well, which is the weird thing though, because in the Beast's room, remember, his room is all destroyed. Like he literally breaks his dresser, breaks some stuff.
They go into
and so it's like, did he murder? Yeah, when they go into his room, is it just all bloody, like ripped up pieces of human? Like is it like
Potts?
Yeah, like every time he got pissed, he murdered another one of his staff. Like so, then it's like, is it just selective? Probably. Like were they additions to the already existing pieces? I think that's probably the best theory because it would be absurd.
Got to make sure you break the right plate.
Yeah.
Instead of
oh shit! That was a talking plate.
See, my theory was that they simply were placed into those objects.
So the object existed.
Yeah.
No, but here's the thing. No, but then
they did.
Gosh, I'm getting tongue twisted.
No, you're right.
The movie disagrees with you because they literally turn back and there's no
true.
like leftover cup or anything.
Listen, somebody had to be the toilet. That's that.
His name was John.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he turns back and it's just awkward for a little while, and it's like,
He always had a big mouth, so.
No, don't.
Don't like that.
That's not okay.
He's just a big talker. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they were in France.
Yes.
Yes.
So did they have a bidet?
Okay, it was Middle Ages, so no.
They wouldn't have
yes.
bidets.
Okay.
No.
But the Japanese, maybe. They maybe would have.
If you count somebody sitting below with the hose,
which was probably a servant's job. If they're getting eaten off of, guaranteed someone's down there.
Then yes, they did have bidets.
That is awesome. Oh my gosh. We're hitting we're asking all the real questions.
Yeah, the
here.
tubs.
No,
the
but
toilets.
to Cameron's point though, if they had a bidet, no, they also didn't have a sewer. So.
Well, they were on
gross.
that. Well, that castle was on the edge of like a cliff, so I imagine
It
it's
just
all
fell-
just
it just
yeah,
threw
it
it
just
off the
went off
cliff?
the edge. Yeah, you know, it was
Probably.
perfect.
Ugh.
Perfect location.
Ugh.
Yeah, no problems. No
Like
problems.
they
there.
planned it.
They planned it. Where will we go? Off the edge, of course. Ah, yes. Okay. All the toilets are on like the east wing, you know.
You gotta run all
Yeah.
the way through the
like,
castle.
oh shit, I'm in the
up
ballroom.
some
Like,
stairs.
yeah. You gotta just race across the whole castle to go to use the restroom.
It's this long staircase that goes up to this part of the castle that overhangs
Yeah.
the lip of the cliff.
Yeah. Every time you use the toilet, it's like,
Don't fall in.
It's like, will I die? Yeah. How badly do you have to go? Yeah. How badly do you have to go? Yeah, I don't know. But I am.
Oh no, there's a seagull in this one.
There's a seagull. That's gross. Well, does anyone have any, we'll say, closing remarks, final words?
How many times are they gonna keep remaking the same like Disney movies? Because I feel like they've done
Forever?
Cinderella like 5 now, and I'm like, can we stop?
They
Forever.
will make them until people stop paying to see them.
And then they'll wait 5 years and then make them again.
Yep.
Well, until people stop paying, because that's why every time a new one comes out, I always refuse to go see it, because I'm like, that's the only way that you'll teach. And the irony is that people always complain about it too. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't make any new stuff. Well, you keep
You know
paying to
what?
see the old shit. You
I'm
idiot.
waiting for 5 years from now when they're like, we're gonna redo.
Frozen.
No, we're gonna redo Beauty and the Beast again, and everybody's gonna be like,
gosh.
"Oh, okay, why?" And then Beast turns back, and it's just Timberly Chalamet. I'm gonna be sad,
He's
and everybody's gonna be like, "He's such a god," and
he's
I'm
gonna
like,
play-
"Ugh."
He's gonna play a super emaciated beast who's got mange and like super white. It's just like he's like
got
sickly.
jaundice.
He's sickly. He's just like
Just all jaundice. And,
yeah. He's like the Gollum version of the beast.
Oh,
you know?
you know, I bet he could play a sick Gollum. Like,
Oh yeah, he basically is Gollum. We just need to shave that hair. And
Yeah.
he's there. He's skinny. He's white. He's got it. He's long, gangly.
Those are the only qualifications to
Fine.
be all.
I mean,
skinny,
kind
white.
of. I mean, you know.
Pete Davidson could play a great Gollum.
Actually,
He
yes.
probably would. That'd actually be really fun.
Actually, I think Pete
I feel like
Davidson
he would do it for fun.
Oh,
yeah.
he'd make it hilarious. Pete. This is the second time I'm calling out Pete in our podcast.
Jeez.
I did it in the first episode.
That's right, you did.
and I actually sent out an invitation to him. If you guys saw on our actual post, I would love to have him on the podcast. Personally, Pete, it's another invitation to come on the podcast. But also, I think you'd do just a kick-ass job at being a Gollum. So do
He's
it.
just so tall, it'd be so funny.
No, yeah, it's perfect, and he's super white. It's hilarious. It would be perfect. He could keep the tattoos.
Yeah.
He'd just be a tatted
A
version.
tatted Gollum? I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah, he would. It'd be awesome.
And then Chris Pratt does the voiceover.
Chris Pratt as Frodo.
What range?
Wow, Chris Pratt actually cut off his shins for this role. It is incredible. This man is a dedicated actor. He's on the next level.
Gandalf is Ryan Reynolds.
No,
Okay.
Frodo and Sam is freaking Chris Pratt and Ryan Reynolds.
We're actually talking about a movie I would see. I would watch this now that you're talking about
As
it. Oh
obviously
my
as a
gosh.
comedy, but yes.
Yeah.
I think it goes without saying, but
this is again Pete Davidson. If you're listening, this is a good SNL sketch.
Oh, yes. And I was going to say, Pete, you always complain about how you don't have a lot of SNL sketches. He did in his most recent, his Netflix special.
Yeah.
This is a great sketch for you, man. Take it, please,
There you go.
with our blessing. It would be hilarious.
You get
Do it.
just thinking you get like Aragon played by Jack Black.
Just people who you're like. Speaking of Jack Black, last night at my cousin's was watching Tropic Thunder. I always forget how incredible that movie is.
Yeah.
Amazing. Ben Stiller.
I just want Legolas to be played by like RDJ or something. Just like
Yeah. Somebody you just feel like.
Not RDJ.
You're so bad at this.
I am terrible.
The name game.
He just thought he goes that one guy, and I'm like,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't know.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny
Oh my
Depp.
gosh.
Johnny Depp should
That's
play
one too many
Wow.
pirates in in a Lord of the Rings
That's
movie.
kind of perfect.
think
And
that'd
then
be
the
good.
meta joke with that obviously being he's like taking Orlando's place.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just
Yeah.
so fucking funny. Plus, also he is nothing like an elf.
No, that's
Like
the best
elves,
part.
yeah, elves are like
That's why I want him and RDJ to like be.
Yeah.
It'd be so hilarious. Oh my gosh, we need to make this.
I need
to write the script and actually turn it in. And
I
we'll
want
see
Jeff
what comes.
Goldblum as Gimli.
Yes, because there's so many, and there's so many shitty movies being made right now. When we come up with gold like this, we just got to write the script and then it should be made. Seems like they're willing to take anything. So
Honestly, that's what they need to do. They need to make spoof movies,
Yes.
but with actual actors.
yes,
Yeah.
And
Yes.
not just shitty spoof movies.
Exactly.
I'm
Like
in
you
it.
mean not just Marlon Wayne movies?
Like
Yeah.
I was gonna say, as much as I like, like the scary movie franchises, like they're pretty funny.
Sure.
Eventually, like anything, it's run its course, and you're like, okay, it's a bit tired. But yeah, I agree with you. Like generally, I like the Wayans brothers, but you're like, yeah, maybe we put like a lot of quality into us, like
We're
a parody
already doing
or-
all these shitty movies with actors.
Right.
Right? And these movies, your Tomorrow Wars or whatever.
Right.
Why don't we just throw actors at a movie, but with a
Yes.
dumb script already?
Yes.
I
So
want
that it's just
Mary and
funny
Pippin
in
to be
comedy.
Key and Peele.
I support that.
That would be
Yes.
hilarious.
Yes. Oh my god.
But
That'd
who
be
plays
hilarious.
Sam?
And then they're just making racist
Ryan
jokes
Reynolds.
to each other the whole time?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
Chris Pratt and Ryan Reynolds.
They'll be like, why the hobbits always got to sit in the back? Like,
True. Yes. Yes.
That'd be hilarious.
And then we could get Dave Chappelle. He should be Elrond.
Yeah.
He's like,
You put
"You've
Snoop
come-
Dogg in the movie
you've come
just for
to
some
me.
reason.
Dude,
my
Snoop
wisdom.
Dogg is Gandalf. There it is.
Snoop Dogg would just
is-
actually be a good Gandalf.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have enough commitment to actually play a role that long.
But you know that pipe would be smoking the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And it'd be hilarious.
I'm trying to think of
Wait.
who'd be a
But
good
then
Frodo,
if he's in it,
good
you
question.
also have to have the girl that he constantly does stuff with.
Martha
Martha
Stewart?
Stewart.
Oh.
Stewart also has
The
to be-
girl. I like you say the girl he constantly
I
does
can't.
stuff with.
That was
She's
a
like,
bad right now.
dude, she could be like our grandma. Like
I know. I
the
don't know.
girl. I immediately started trying to think of like
Wait.
young actress. I was like, who is he with?
Can we please have Frodo played by Dwayne the Rock Johnson?
Yeah.
That's all I
that'd
want
be
now.
great.
No,
Oh my
he's
gosh.
Frodo, and then Sam is Josh Brolin. That is all I want.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Or
Or Dave Bautista.
Yeah, and like Mary could be like Jason Statham or something.
What's the other?
I think we're just making the Expendables version of
Yeah.
Lord of
What's the
the Rings.
prince's name? What's the prince's name?
The princess?
The prince's name that he dies.
Oh, Boromir.
Boromir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Hart.
It's like, why'd you shoot me with so many arrows?
I'm a little guy. I don't need all that.
Why? One could have done it.
You know,
I mean,
it'd just be
the entire
fun.
time he's just jealous of Aragorn, and
Yeah.
it'd just be Kevin Hart.
It's just
being
because
jealous
he's literally
jealous of the Rock.
because he's huge and he's just like,
King,
what the hell?
the King, William Shatner.
Oh my gosh!
That's all I want.
yes. Oh my gosh! And he just give off like monologues for
Yes.
just like days.
It'd be so good.
This is great, guys. We need to write this.
we're making like gold right now.
We're making fire right now. Yeah, straight up fire. This would be great.
And
We
I
need
really
to do
want
this.
Chris Tucker to be Smaug.
Well, that's the Hobbit, but okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I know, but if we're going there anyways, like
Sure.
Chris
you know what?
Tucker.
I'm actually with you, Gabby. If we're gonna make terrible movies, let's remake the worst
go
movies
with
that
it.
Peter Jackson made.
Yeah,
just go all the
I
way.
like it.
none of his zombie movies.
I want Leonardo DiCaprio
No,
to be
the
Bilbo.
Hobbit series is the worst.
Yeah,
I want El Cap to be Bilbo. That is.
Yeah, no, I think this is solid. I think it's solid. We need to do this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up. If you've been listening, staying up with us, hopefully this one posts here. You know, we're trying to stay up on it now.
Idris Elba should be like.
Wow.
In full whiteface. Yes.
No, I just want him to have the long blonde hair.
Yes.
That's all I
That
want.
would be awesome. Yes, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, thanks again for listening. This has been the Freeform Podcast with Zach, Tim, Gabby, our guest Cameron, and myself as always, saying there were no actors harmed in the filming of this podcast.
Their feelings are gonna get
except for Timothy Carnegie.
No, man.
No, I didn't get
It's
it. No,
it's Tambourine Charlottesville.
okay.
Timberlane cardamom.
yeah.
He was harmed in the making of this.
We'll see. He doesn't even know who we are. He doesn't care. Good for him. Good for you, kid. With that, we're out.
Good for you, kid.